fumble the advantage, right? Because you think it started off well for them in the early game. They got that, you know, Dragon Steel into the invade, and you're like, okay, things looking up for Heretics. And then they fumble it and 3 kills go across Fnatic almost immediately, right? And that to me was more the story of Heretics doing good things, but trying to push that advantage a little bit too far. So I think for this one, I want to still see them, you know, looking for the aggressive plays, but just being a little bit more tempered in how far they actually go for those plays.
Yeah, well said. Let's find out with what's available, because that Yanara is now off the board. That was first picked for Heretics in the last game, and it looked okay until it didn't. Until the fights didn't, to say the very least. Now, Rumble's off the board as well. I'm thinking about the first pick Dagda is maybe there's going to be a tank jungle. Maybe we're getting Maokai for Heretics on B1 here with the Trundle ban. It's going to be or Pantheon. Okay, well, fair enough.
Yeah, I think Pantheon's still very, very strong, and especially with Wukong already gone, I think that would probably be the one that I look for. And even just the fact Sheo was so good with the globals was not going to be the case. Okay, Ryze coming through instead.
You now have the option of Pantheon Annie, and that's just going to get slammed. And Annie still follows over from MSI, which is insane setup with any jungler that can do the same.
Yeah, I mean, both point-and-click CCs. There's very few of them in the game, and you got 2 of them now on the opposite side. But there's the Aphelios Thresh immediately coming through on the opposite side. So excited to see this. I mean, Doggo kind of showed us how good Aphelios could be.
Maybe they're expecting, they're like, hang on, Upset's probably going to go for like a center lane here, right, guys? So let's just slam this in now. But the option's not going to be there yet because Ambessa gets locked in. So Fnatic, what do you start banning away? Because no jungle, no top lane here.
Yeah, I think that it's top lane. Like, you get rid of the Renekton, get rid of anything that can kind of be a bit of a menace for this Ambessa in the top side, and just make things a little bit easier for her. Even the fact that you've already got the K'Sante gone is just like, okay, cool. Like, you're going to be fine and just have a decent time and come online as this Ambessa. Maybe an R if you're really worried.
Yeah.
Or you can just look for getting rid of a Xin Zhao or something like that. Something that can contest this Pantheon in the early game and just make things a bit easier for Razork as well.
I like the Xin Zhao call out, especially since it feels like the last strongest jungler left that, you know, has skirmishing powers like the Pantheon. Then we start going into the trees, and EU trees sometimes hit, sometimes don't, as Jax goes away as well. Another good call out to a top lane ban.
Yeah, I think there's either 2 ways you can go here as Sheo. You can either go for the Xin Zhao and be like, I've already got that point and click CC, or sorry, the CC potential coming through from Ryze, so I'm going to play as that more aggressor style to try and set up alongside that utility. Or you can go for something like a Jarvan and say, I need to be that engage tool more so for this squad. Especially as you've already got a Ryze, Thresh not wonderful at being that big engage tool. So I'd be curious to see what way this lands.
As AD carry gets locked on 4, that means support last pick, but things like the Nami's up and available. Nico's also up and available.
Braum is the one I'm looking at. I think
that's a good call.
Especially when you've got what you imagine is going to be some sort of engage, as you said, like the potential for Sejuani here or Jarvan coming through for Sheo. I think having the Braum to try and be the dissuader after you get that initial engage is good. Plus, Ryze and Aphelios pretty short range, so you will get a lot of value from the ultimates.
Okay. We're skilling it a little bit there. I like it. That's some scaling into the champion that definitely wants to wait towards one item to start pumping out. What is the support going to be, though? Let's get the answer now. As you said, Braum feels like the best tool when you've already got a lot of point and click. I'm not going to talk about anything until it's locked in, because Mikyx just going to go through and, yeah, probably lock it in the end. So, bit of disengage, bit of a barrier between things like the Ryze, the Aphelios, into getting in some of the key targets.
Yeah, I think that's basically what you're trying to play for here. As Heretics, you've already got incredibly strong engage coming through from the potential, like flash engage from the Annie. You've got the Pantheon who can ult in, and Ambessa can even look for it with the public execution. So having that support that can try and play for synergy with Lucian. I mean, on the cutie pie back in the day, the level 2 power spike between Braum and Lucian was the thing. But I think as well, just protection for so much of the squad, because it is kind of a one-hit wonder coming through from Heretics, where you're hoping Sejuani lands onto a key target, Thresh can then hook to follow up, or you get the Camille as jumping onto the backline to try and one-shot the Lucian. So anything you can put in the way to protect that is going to help out Fnatic quite a lot.
Flakked is going to be good with the positioning as well, because Ambessa, Annie, things like the Pantheon dive as well. There's a lot of tools to find the Aphelios in action as well. So the support around him is going to have to be crucial here. Interesting comms for game 2. It is nice to see the Aphelios jump in, because we're talking about at the start of the show, in the East, it has been coming out through and through. Usually a response into the center, but into the husband, okay, maybe not so bad. Let's find out. Does it run in the family?
I think it will be somewhat tough for Flakked on the bottom side, just with how aggressive you can play with upset on the Lucian, like dash forward, Braum jumps to you and then gets a good chunk of damage off. But we'll have to see how this one plays out as we get onto the Rift for game number 2.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Oh, it is nice to see the debut that we've got Fnatic crowd out and about. Ready for something to shout about as well. Poby had a good game 1. I mean, his CS difference was quite large, like individually over Kamiloo. They're talking a little bit about it on desk, where he had a really good entry as Fnatic, trying to make a good entry into game 2. This invade with Braum, one of the best invading champions, one of the best skirmishing champions. Oh, there is a stun on the mid laner. That is true.
So yeah, I think you're a little worried if you're Heretics trying to face check into this, but more so it's just going to be to get vision. Actually, do they place the ward down as they exit? No, so kind of faking the vision that's down, but going to hold on to it for a little bit. Actually, they did, yeah, just place one there over by the Raptors. But for Fnatic, again, like a huge amount of this is going to be trying to play for early aggression through the fact that Poby has that CC in the mid lane, trying to play through that mid jungle with Razork, and also then lending that in towards really strong skirmishing power with this Braum. So for Heretics, I'm curious how they want to try and play this out. It's definitely more of a 1-3-1. Sorry, 1-3-1 composition that they're looking to try and play through, but I still think it can be relatively difficult, especially when Flakked is going to find it tough to try and compete on mid waves with Upset and Mikyx contesting as well.
Yeah, good luck. We're going to watch jungle intervention as usual. Sound like a broken record, but this game especially, top side, that's where Sheo has the most synergy. You've got double range bot lane here, and it'll be interesting to see how Razork gets into the game. Already the range advantage doing well as Team Heretics usually using the base damage to try and bully down Fnatic, but it does feel like Upset's pushing for 2 first.
Well, he's pushing very heavily because look at Razork's Pantheon here. He's gone for his wolves down into his blue and also his Braum, so I think they're looking for an invade on this bottom side because Poby is also pushed pretty aggressively in this mid lane, but we'll have to see if that is going to be the plan, although he looks like he's hovering more to go back up towards his top side, but could be a potential there.
Their sentence is up and available now from Stend, though. So remember, just looking for that hook to see if they can find something on Upset, which seems very unlikely, but regardless, it will result in a cleanse. You can't relentless pursuit away. Topside push already here for Carlsen. Slowly but surely, as his jungler is pathing away, and Sheo is just clearing down his bot for now.
Yeah, so all going to be pretty even Steven, but yeah, nice trades coming through for Carlsen. Good trade back from Oscarinin, though, so especially with the wave position where it is, it may actually just be Razork trying to make an early play up towards this top side. Carlsen kind of needs to get this next wave crashed, or else it's going to be frozen on him for a while.
Problem with Death Sentence early, it's like a 15-second cooldown, so much like Blitzcrank, we just got to wait a little bit before another attempt is sent out. Also the problem with Thresh early is one Death Sentence like, what, 100 mana or something? Like it's a decent chunk
80,
early
I
on.
think it is, yeah. 80 from 90.
Yeah, something decent.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the support main rather than just make a guess.
It's just such a long cooldown. It's like 17 seconds, I think, at level 1. So it just means that it's a very, very... If you miss it, you are significantly more vulnerable for a lot of these plays. But yeah, I was trying to keep my eyes on towards Ryze. Doesn't look like he's going to try and make anything happen on this top side. There's a good ward there from Carlsen as well, which should have spotted him out.
Carlsen just receiving the wave. Oscar's going to make sure the push comes in, so no freeze here. Carlsen can't really play with that, and especially with the deep water. As you're mentioning, Razork behind enemy lines, gets a ward into blue side jungle. Sheo going to be spotted now as he goes for his second side clear. Maybe looks for an option up in top lane as Oscarinin going to use his chance to get a quick back. So early game, everything's chilling. And you know what? That means it's promotion time. Oh, I know you like it. There you go. Now remember, Summer Finals, this is what it all leads to. Summer Split, hell yeah, there's a Finals in Madrid. And big shout out to the Spanish, because when we were last there, holy moly did they put on a show. That crowd was wild when we had our road trip last split. Big shout out. You can scan that. If you have a phone and you live in this area, you can scan that. For now, hook shot, wall shot. I'd say Carlsen's okay. I'm going to hold on that because Upset's just out of range. But the 2v1 is not working well for the Camille.
Yeah, I don't think Carlsen should have stepped up there. Oscarinin had already shown that he TP'd to bottom side, so you know that the swap is going to be coming through from Fnatic. Now Carlsen gets hit again.
Wait, little chunk as well. Magic damage comes through, and Mikyx, really good Winter's Bite here. Carlsen's just going to have to back away and probably use TP, but look at where the wave is. Slow pushing is chunky. Oscarinin, not the same deal. Teleport going to be burned. Wait, they're going to die for this Dagda.
Yeah, they need to make something happen because they know they're going to lose out on a ton on top end, but nobody here to protect Oscarinin.
Their sentence doesn't connect. That's the start, though. Waiting for the flay as well. It comes through, but with the gravative down, Oscarinin sent packing. First blood easily done with the denial of all those minions.
Yeah, the exhaust means that there is zero way you're going to be able to outplay that one for Oscarinin, and there was just no support coming through from Fnatic, and a good call from Heretics. I mean, you already highlighted the wave was pushing way out from Carlsen in that top side of the map, and it means you're just going to slowly bleed out, so they have to make something happen, and it's on that bottom side they find the success.
And it means now the 2v2 can go top, and even though those minions were denied, it should be good for upset here. Still, that gold going over, and the kill over to Carlsen on this Camille gets the legs really charged up in this early game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, those scissors are going to be flying, but we'll have to see how it gets on as Fnatic.
Yeah.
Looks like they want to try and connect with Heretics as they try and enter into the lane here.
It's very scary when you watch The Kingsman, you know, the movie, and the start of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's R-rated, so make sure you got accompaniment. Actually, you got to be 18, I think. Dark Passage, Flash, Mikyx gets in the way, Unbreakable, but a Flash matched, and after the Winter's Fight, Stend kept in place, the range enough, but the death sentence is one for Razork. He'll flash the match, but a kill given over to Flakked. Stend's dying breath puts one in the hole.
Yeah, you'll take it as that, as Heretics. The fact that you end up getting the aftershock there from Stend keeps him alive just long enough to get underneath the tower and set up for another play, and now Sejuani in the area as well to make sure Flakked can actually crash this wave, and Fnatic can't keep this freeze up any longer.
Mikyx's going to try and hold it at the very least, but yeah, not enough minions. It's too close. It's going to crash anyway, so nicely done. And you know, Stend, someone who received a bit of criticism at the start of the year for coming into the league, when a lot of people saying maybe he's not LEC ready. Last split, he showed signs of life, signs of vigor that we talked a lot about, you know, towards the later end of the split. I feel like Stend already not too bad of a start considering he's engaged his last game. We're pretty clean outside of the fact that the fight started going haywire. We're going to see another one now. Death sentence at the ready, that's what I look for. Flakked under turret is going to send him out with the shurikens and his auto attacks. A feat of warfare has been claimed, but it's not over yet. A double already down, and Sheo flashes out from the turret range. Double to Kamiloo. Cleaner than I expected.
Yeah, the Lantern helping out a lot there to reposition members underneath the tower, and Heretics get two for nothing. Heretics are starting to outplay Fnatic once more in this early game.
I just can't believe it. It looked messy. It looked like Razork was able to mitigate a lot from that dive, but Kamiloo picks up a double. As I said, in the midst of the play, feet's now picked up, at least the warfare kind, and 1,500 gold lead again for Heretics. Dagda, you're dead on. Good early game once again to talk about from TH.
Yeah, but it's kind of the crucial members that are also picking up these kills, right? Kamiloo obviously getting that advantage now means that he's going to be much more potent in the side lane and being able to push and play with the Realm Warp. And even the fact that Flakked managed to get that early kill as well on towards Razork. Now Fnatic trying to find that timing window for Grubs, but is it there?
Their sentence hands on the Razork. The box is out, or rather not available. Rather it's the Dark Passage culling in the way, but Sheo blocks. Tibbers comes out, but it's not doing too much as Flakked's doing more. The bear is about to be unaware. Dropping down, Poby flashes out. Fnatic came to play, but Team Heretics again in the way.
Poby ended up dropping the Tibbers on towards Kamiloo, but look at his build. Magic resistant to Ruby Crystals. He's surprisingly tanky in this early stage, which means that you don't really get that big burst damage you were hoping for, and you'll see here, it gives time for the rest of Heretics to show up. Stend, good hook on towards Razork, throws the shield, but even with the electrocuting and everything, Kamiloo still above half HP, which means there's no real threat then for Flakked as he comes through. Having the crescendum as well, he's getting a ton of damage off him.
Did you see Stend's about to die to the culling? Sheo gets in the way, and that pig is just so annoying, stopping anything from happening to the support. Now, Stend gets cancelled here, but crucially, Flakked does not. I mean, Stend will take a little bit more time to go back, but as you said before, kills were going on crucial targets. Again, can be the same. Same to be said, Flakked, 2 kills. Another one over to Kamiloo. 2.5k gold lead. Team Heretics, the improvement, really showcasing here is the early game. There's a lot to spruik about.
Yeah, I think this is where, again, you kind of get to open up as how do we want to try and play? This is Heretics, because we definitely have the advantage. All right, let's set up this 1-3-1 that we were looking for, right? Carlsen now in the side lane. He's been slowly farming up. He's got a good lead against Oscarinin. Oscarinin can't go really toe-to-toe with him in the 1v1. Now with the Rod of Ages complete on towards Kamiloo, I don't really think Poby can commit to that side lane either. So this just becomes very difficult now for Fnatic to gain access to the map. Dragon is up and available, but I think for Heretics, just continue to play for sides. As there hasn't been a Dragon taken all game.
Yeah.
I don't really feel threatened by Fnatic using that as a win condition.
As they move down bot, on Vision, Fnatic up for the time being, as Flakked has free reign towards mid. Poby just sits there, farming what he can. He's got a bit of a lead again in CS, but it's not going to matter much this game when his opponent is so far ahead.
But it's Kamiloo who's winning in the top side, because he actually has that push now.
Yeah.
And he's the range discrepancy as well. So pushing the wave, he's going to start to chip away at this turret. That's why you can see Fnatic now trying desperately to re-look for where Poby's going to be positioned on the map to go up against Kamiloo. Oscarinin may need to TP down to this bottom side, honestly, to try and break, because again, Carlsen set up a nice freeze for himself and he's just slowly starting to gain more resources. So Heretics playing the side lanes better and positioning the map better than Fnatic right now.
In this game as well, I mean, similar to last game, I guess, we're talking about a front to back, but you talked about the individual setup for the team fight here. You talked about what Sejuani does and how they find picks with Thresh as well, right? But the 1-3-1 that you've been talking about all game, if the game is chill, and a 1-3-1 is at even neck, you know how Camille scales, you know what Ryze does. Lots of wave clear as it comes towards second, third item, and the ability to continue these dives, which makes it so easy when you have that push.
But I think it's Fnatic who are going to continue these dives. Push under tower, Razork is here.
Tippers was already out, Kamiloo's a little bit low. Something on the board for Fnatic, second kill perhaps, setting up with the shield and a pierce, a spear. Razork for the chase, finds it with a shutdown and his escape. Okay, Tom Cruise, take it easy. Second kill over to Fnatic.
Jumps into the helicopter, gets to the landing zone at the last second, because Carlsen was on the way. But still, nice play from Fnatic to get a kill back, at least trade something for the Dragon. And Carlsen also burning the TP a little late to get to the top side. Means that now that Summoner Spell has gone alongside Kamiloo's flash.
It's a kill. At the very least, it's mitigating and getting a bit of gold back into Razork, who in this early game, I mean, it's complete polar opposite, isn't it? Sheo had his number on that Nocturne. This game, at least, Razork has a bit of damage on a champion that needs it early on. Double Ruby Crystal is the buyback after picking up.
Yeah, I think the fact you've now got both TPs down signals that Fnatic might have a moment where they can try and bring it back into this game. Because you now have a point where you can try and play for Rift Trail that's in 2.5 minutes time, having both of the summoner spells up and available to get around the map. But that commits a lot to, hey, can we get control of the map? And Heretics want none of that.
Razork just trying to get his wolves though, as Heretics are playing this side of the map and playing towards Kamiloo this time. Good coverage as Ward spots their escape, but Heretics are here, grouped up as four. Razork is not standing anywhere near that ward, has given them safety. Yeah,
it's a nice timing window again from Heretics. You had Upset, who had only just reset for the Essence Reaver, so he was a reset down. Had push on mid as well, coming through from Flakked, plus the push on bot, so just everything on the map setting up for that invade, but couldn't really find anything. But now they have to fall back as Fnatic come back out onto the map to set themselves up for success.
Nothing up for a little bit. Look towards top left, 150 towards that first herald of the game. Carlsen, all in, is quite nice. Onto Oscar with Trinity Force. That Camille means business, and there's no Eclipse for Oscarinin. There's no shield. Carlsen has Hextech ultimatum. This could be a dive if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, I think he's setting up for that, because Stend was starting to move up there. He's now gone mid to protect Aphelios instead. And here we go. This is going to be a dive.
It's good burst. Carlsen shield, but the ulti out from Oscar. Does he really want that? The ultimatum, even with a whip from Sheo. The scissors connect, and Carlsen gets the auto trade. Teleport in, though, it's not done. Poby with Tibbers with Flash, and it's going to come out only onto Sheo. The pig in the way. The girl dropping fire, dropping heat, and Tibbers zoning out. Sheo is dead meat, and Poby's just going to wait. Over the wall, gets charged into, but Poby with a shutdown, finally on the board for the mid laner.
But the problem is, Poby's now TP top. He's already lost the majority of the wave. Kamiloo's pushing bot, so Kamiloo's going to get the tower. You're losing the rest of this wave on the bottom side as well. And you just went 1 for 1, right? And now you're down that summoner spell. So I think for Fnatic, it's not really worth to try and turn that play around. I think Heretics, at least not getting the tower, will help a little bit, but you could have used these TPs for these upcoming objectives and tried to get a little bit more.
And further to your point, in a 1-3-1 comp, when you have TPs up and available around objectives, which 2 minutes on the board, if you can look at my little circle, boom and boom.
Great circle.
They're going to have it for Dragon, right? And in 1 minute 50, side laning being so important, Carlsen has that flexibility. So, again, set up here for Team Heretics as they trade 1 for 1 and get those minions denied.
Yeah, it also means that the way you can set up now is slow push here on the bottom side with Kamiloo. You can start to threaten that tower. You can also have, so basically you can threaten with Kamiloo on towards the tower. You can also threaten on towards, hey, I'm going to run up river, and I'm actually going to look for an ult to try and put pressure on towards upset, which is why Razork has to stay around mid. So now Sheo is going to be able to get that objective for himself, right? And it means that it now becomes impossible for Fnatic to really threaten these, whereas if you had both of these teleports up, you can actually have Poby playing on the bottom side. He could TP to this fight, and maybe Heretics would have to back away, but now you're just in a position where Heretics are using their advantages across the map, and this map is getting more and more difficult for Fnatic to compete on.
And it feels like a more concrete state. I know last game we talked about blows being traded. There's a good trade here from Kamiloo. This guy's going to fall. Good sidestep. Kamiloo is getting flashed on now, though. Razork is mad, and Oscar must be too. A kill given over to Oscarinin.
Yeah, it wasn't quite able to get away from that. Good flash over the wall from Razork to catch him just as Kamiloo's flash is about to come back up, but unfortunately not going to be enough. So Fnatic will get something back here on this bottom side, and you can look at the map. Heretics not in position to try and go for a counter punch on the top side.
He's not a demolish though on Oscarinin, so he's not going to get too much, and of course shield bash, you know. But still, it's so slow without grub, so Oscar is going to be able to do a little bit of damage here, but I'm looking at the gank from Heretics instead. It's Stend, it's Sheo, and the damage will be the big question here with Permafrost and the box down. I guess that question's now answered. Teleport just in case as the death sentence lands again. Was the TP needed? Probably not, but Camiloo's here again to catch the wave.
I think it's more to try and answer for this top push from Fnatic, because Fnatic should be able to get this third. Carlsen had to back away. There was just too many members around this top side, so I think it's more for Kamiloo to try and get the tower and answer, as Sheo will turn over towards the dragon. And again, Heretics answering 1-for-1 on kills, and now trading up on objectives as well, because it's 1-for-1 on towers, but you get the dragon.
With grubs as well, remember that trade, even if you're 5-10 seconds later, is still going to be that much quicker. 2 people required to push turret from Fnatic. And while first break does go to Heretics, Fnatic do catch up. 3k gold still the lead. Double dragon again start here for Heretics. Like, there's still the book in their favor.
They're going to get mid lane tower as well here. Look at the collapses coming through. Upset just can't stick around here by himself. Oscarinin has to defend the tier 2
Pantheon,
and it's just gone. And that's even without using the Rift Herald. So now you actually get to use this Rift Herald for one of the tier 2s, which is far more valuable, especially if you can take it down and get that gold early.
It feels like we're glazing Team Heretics a lot, but I'm fine with that. Like,
it's good map play.
Both games have had really good map play, and you know, there has been a lot of question behind the scenes, right? Like, where will Heretics finish? What do Heretics look like this split? Because again, they finished with the same roster. They, this year, have stuck with it. Kamiloo coming in, obviously, people are like, okay, is this guy ready for the league? Stend, the same deal. Like, he came from ERLs, and while coming over from Vitality B, he showed a lot of promise into the LEC. You couldn't say the same thing. Carlsen, I'd argue the same question. Like, people like, hey, is this guy LEC ready? We don't know, but man, for Team Heretics, I think there's a lot of promise in the roster, and obviously, Dagda, last split, I got very excited about Carlsen with his promise to the league as well.
Yeah, and I think it's been interesting to see where they've landed, because they've always just kind of squeaked in to playoffs, and it has been a case of, okay, well, we're expecting them to do the same here coming in towards groups. We heard the test talk about it a little bit, but how far can it go? I mean, a win against Fnatic would be huge for them, especially in this single round robin.
Yeah. Single round robin, 1 best of 3 against Fnatic would be huge. Death Sentence not going to catch the flash, but Mikyx is summonerless regardless. Let's see when that spellbook comes up, as nothing up on the top side of the map, so Team Heretics can't convert.
Yeah, you can see Poby was looking for a reset there. Fnatic playing for potentially this ward and the opportunity for Poby to try and come in behind enemy lines, but actually just going to finish pushing in this wave as Heretics backed off. So we're going to have to see if that is spotted at some point in time, or whether that just continues to be a threat that Fnatic can use.
It's not spotted out for now. I'm just wondering. Sheo's got his grub to take, but there's no reason to path up there, so it'll stay in place. Arakan is up in 55 seconds. That'll be spawning topside again to be utilized by that Waters. That'll be the only thing up. Dragon a fair way away for the third potential for Heretics.
Yeah, I think Heretics, though, are doing what they kind of need to, putting pressure on towards this bottom side away from where the Arakan is going to spawn. And, hang on.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. Kamiloo right into a Tibber, and Kamiloo dies. Exhausted is Flakked. The fight's not going to stop there, though. His teleport coming in, and Pantheon is going to descend. Flakked separated from the team. His cleanse keeps him alive for now, but his flash will get him to safety. But at the very least, Mikyx in the way with the Winter's Bite, and Fnatic have crushed in their blight. Big mistake from Kamiloo.
Yeah, again, you have these big winning plays from Heretics, but small mistakes, small overextensions, and it's costing them big time. Fnatic now moving up towards this top side. Poby going to TP in, he's going to push the wave, and that's going to be Adakan for Fnatic.
He got Rod of Ages passive and he just thought he was an angel or something, unable to be CC'd, unable to be killed. Just walking up to an Annie. It's not like Stend has a belt. I'm so confused. Adakan's going to be taken, but Fnatic, back to back, have now been given an entry into this game.
Great play from Poby though. Again, like immediate flash stun. He was waiting for absolutely nothing. And then with the hook.
Are we going to get a fight? Team Heretics want to go in. Sheo just walks in and steals them.
No way.
He just steals Adakan. Hextech ultimatum in the middle, and Carlsen again dies where he did last game, but this fight could be okay. Stend setting up Kamiloo, but he once again runs into CC. They got the Adakan, but Heretics are like, no, we must keep going. Forward into the breach once more as Flacked's joined in thanks to the Dark Passage. Calibrum out of range. Oscar can thank his lucky stars, but man, we're devolving into messiness here as Fnatic walk away from the fight.
Both games now, Sheo has got the better of Razork when it comes towards these smites, and now he just walks into him.
Razork, the disrespect from both teams is real. Glacial Prison into a death sentence, into a flash away. Infernum won't get the job done, but Dragon's up in 40. Herald doing some damage top. Feels like Team Heretics, that's a natural progression after he just walked in.
Yeah, Mikyx basically trying to keep Sheo out of the pit, but there's no one else to really help him. And you can see Oscarinin goes back there to try and go on towards Carlsen, but Sheo just walks in then, steals the objective, and both Upset and Poby go so low off the back of the damage. Upset actually goes down, and it means that, yeah, sure, Oscarin's able to finish people off, but they're just waiting here for the Aphelios to walk up. Stend gets the hook, Lanterns in the Aphelios, and then they're able to tear through Fnatic. The fact they got the Adakan is huge for them.
I mean, it's such a big injection, and we're fighting again. Remember, it's third Dragon. Infernal Soul looms, and Soul Point for Team Heretics is now on the cards. They have full control of the river. Fnatic are backing off, and with what was used in the last fight, it seems to be enough. Team Heretics going deep for this one as Razork tries to take Gromp away, but Stend is on the march. It's a Realm Wolf as well. Hook shot, warp shot, no ultimatum, but with a hook in and a box down, a play through. Razork kept in place, through and through. Sheo gets a kill as Razork has dropped down to his knees, but Carlsen jumped in under a turret with a culling in the way. Okay, Heretics still have an AD carry. The turret's still going to go down. Carlsen just likes going forward. As the death sentence won't connect this time around, but Heretics are taking everything from the bot side of this map.
Heretics are playing so well. Everyone is on the same page. Everyone is jumping forward.
We got
Stend is hitting everyone.
Mikyx gets flayed in and an ulti to bite that dust. Flakked will take kill number 3.
And Dragon number 3 off the back of it as well. Consistently, Heretics have been able to catch Razork out in positions where he shouldn't be, then find more off the back of it. And they're looking now at this Dragon. I think we're going to a game 3.
I think we are, but honestly, Dagda, I don't know if I can say that. There was a will, there was a way in game 1, and in this game we've seen that Team Heretics are not infallible. Okay, they're not perfect. It's not the cleanest League of Legends, but hell, they do like setting up their fights. They do like pressing buttons.
I think the only silver lining here for Fnatic is that a lot of their flashes are going to be coming back up momentarily, right? And when you have a flash on the Annie, you have a flash now on Mikyx, potentially if you can buy enough time for Razork to come through in a minute 20 as well, maybe that can be the difference maker, but it still becomes incredibly difficult because Flakked already has the cleanse as well.
Yep.
So him as a target is going to be tough because you've got the redemption from Stend to keep him topped up and alive. So you're kind of looking at these tankier members to try and one-shot here as Poby, but or at least set up for the stun into the follow-up, but I just don't know if you've got enough in the tank realistically to try and follow through.
I'm excited to ask that question though, Dagda. I'm excited to ask what the limits can be pushed as third item on the way for Flakked here.
And that's actually the surprising part to me is how well Upset has been farming. So basically 20 CS lead is essentially even with the Aphelios, and now has finished his third item. So maybe Upset can be that difference maker here in the fight to just be like, hey, I'm the one that can actually go even. And we already saw Poby can do a decent chunk of burst. And the Annie, if she can tick over to 16, can do her job regardless.
Mikyx and Upset again, showing us what Trial by Fire looks like. Sheo, a new target. Winter's Bite will get the concussive blow to set up, but getting close. Razork ultis in. There's one with a permafrost from Sheo. Rather, it is a Glacial Fissure, but Sheo just walked back in because he's playing with the box, taken away the Dark Passage rather as Stend gets him to safety.
Yeah, trying to buy time for both side lanes to push in, but does mean the Sheo doesn't have the ultimate available. Poby now collapsed down to Kamiloo though.
Kamiloo went deep. It's Tibbers out, but Razork here to support. And Kamiloo, he'll flash towards the TP. He needs backup. Realm Warp to get Carlsen out as Oscar doesn't land the ulti. Carlsen here to save the day, say g'day and say what's up. At half HP, he gets poked out and teleport now. Fnatic bringing in Mikyx as well. All right, we're going to group up and punch again.
But the thing is, you've now got no flash on Kamiloo, no ult on Sheo, Kamiloo, or the option here, I think, to try and continue.
Poby has flash. Poby has flash. Poby has flash! And he finds it. Flakked gets to a better position, though. Sends out the equilibrium, the ultimatum, and now with Sheo running forward, all it takes is back to front. A hook again. Stend on his Thresh. Sets up the Flakked as Carlsen takes down Mikyx in the top of the map.
They try desperately on Fnatic to find their moment. Everything thrown, but the fact that Razork and Oscarin's ultimates were down, they couldn't really find that success. And then Mikyx just trying to get that slow to get Poby in position, but there's just not really the follow-up. It's desperate from Fnatic, and Heretics managed to just barely scrape away and turn the play back around.
Having that cleanse difference, I thought Flakked was dead. Set up a Poby here, because Dagda, I'm looking at the flash, I'm looking at this Annie.
Yeah, the Flakked though has been phenomenal with these cleanses. Second time now, it's been milliseconds as that goes off, and now you can see here Heretics, they just get to play back. Fnatic just don't have enough in the tank. Upset opens with the culling, but without really a strong front line, this Lucian cannot play forward because Camille will one-shot him. The Ryze will lock him down and do so much damage. And you can see now Heretics, they kind of know that the blood's in the water. You're not even going for items anymore. Kamiloo going for the Sorcerer's Elixir as well. They just want to end this in one punch.
I just love that, you know, that fight, I'm like, okay, hang on, forward Sheo might be caught out, stunned up. Razork doesn't do any damage to this pig. You're going to walk away. Ulti for ulti. Setting up. Tibbers is now out. Sheo taking a year to die while Stend might be dead through mid. Oscarinin sets up with the damage with Upset playing front to back, but it won't be enough because Flakked front lining. Now with the culling, Sheo about to die. The setup, Fnatic have low health bars, but they've got to kill Flakked as Carl, son of Carlsen, comes down, slams him into the ground, and makes us go to game 3.
Fnatic are diving into an Infernum Aphelios, and it's Carlsen who jumps in to finish them off. Heretics played this game fantastically.
Every fight looked on the edge, but man, you love to see it. It's entertaining. It might always not be the cleanest League of Legends, but Team Heretics put on a show. And for the first time this split, we'll go to a game 3. It's Hexac ultimatum. Mikyx kept in the dome. Will be ringed around for the ace. Carl finishes it off, and Team Heretics do what they should have done in the first game.
Heretics are looking good in this series. Their early game in both of these games thus far has been fantastic, and Fnatic are scrambling. It's been small individual mistakes that are kind of giving them windows back in, but this time around, Heretics able to find the fights that they need and bring it back.
Flakked as well, man. That Aphelios game was crisp, and
Sheo smites, man.
I mean, Sheo is just insane. We're going off the back of what we said last split. Like, I'd love to hear it because I know that Flakked will be standing by, but his jungler's nuts. Flacked's team fighting has been berserk this series as well. That guy's looking pretty good, isn't he, Laure?